Hello, Kiera.
Hey, girl.
Okay, so we are doing another episode of Moved by Media, and this time we are talking about one of my favorite comfort movies that I've been watching for years that Kiera had a chance to watch for the very first time, and it is Where the Heart Is. So it's also a book, but we're talking specifically about the movie with Natalie Portman, Ashley Judd,
hmm
etc. So
hmm
welcome, Kiera.
Thank you for having me.
Oh,
Oh
yes, I'm
my
so
God.
excited.
Girl,
Such
me
a good
too.
movie. Okay, so let's start with if you had to describe this movie in one word, what would the
Uh,
word be?
uh, I feel like, oh my gosh. The movie is so rich. I don't even know. I think I would probably say redemptive, though. That's what I would
Oh,
probably say.
that's good. That's good. See, I probably would
Yeah.
say rich. I feel like that because it's full of
Oh,
so
yeah.
much. Like it's
hmm
full of so much. And I know you and I were texting about this earlier, but every time I watch it, there's a new something to feel.
You know what? You just told me about this, and I've watched it twice already. So
Mm-hmm.
it definitely gives something different every time because it is that rich. Every time it's like, wait, I don't know if I saw this or thought about this the first time. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and let me just say this. I just need to thank you, first of all, because this movie was my jam for real.
I'm so glad.
Like, I cannot, first of all, I can't believe I never saw this. But secondly, it was so good, it easily reached one of my favorites. So,
Yes, yes.
yeah.
It's like an instant classic, right? I hate that not
Instantly.
enough people know about it, I feel like.
Yeah, because usually, and it came out in a time where we were watching movies heavy.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how this one got by me because again, this is my type of entertainment. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that type of redemptive storytelling. It just was really good.
Hmm. And so I'm just going to, for people who are listening who maybe haven't seen the movie or haven't seen it in a long time, Where the Heart is about Natalie Portman's character. Her name is Nova Lee Nation. And her and her boyfriend, baby daddy, whatever, she's pregnant, and they are leaving from their hometown in, I believe, Tennessee, and they're planning to
hmm
go to California. They are low on
Yeah.
funds, so they have, a little A to B car, and it's got a
hmm
hole in the floor. Her sandals fall out through the hole in the floor, and she's like, "Well, I gotta stop at Walmart because she's pregnant, so she's like, I gotta pee and I need to get some shoes." And
hmm
she has a thing about a specific number. I think it's a five. She hates
Yep.
the number five, and it's like always brought her bad luck. Her mom left when she was five. All these things happen when she's five, or with the number five. And so when she gets in
hmm
there, she pays, and her change is like $5.55 or something like that. She
Yep.
immediately knows something's wrong. She runs out of the store, and her boyfriend slash baby daddy has left her stranded. And then the
hmm
movie from there follows her journey creating a life from being stranded at the Walmart, basically.
Absolutely.
And so let's start with the title. So, Where the Heart is like the end of a famous statement, right? Like, home is
hmm
where the heart is. Why do you think they named it that?
Oh wow. Um, And now that you say that it's part of that famous statement,
Hmm.
I've never even thought about that. That home is where the heart is. And I think that within this story, we're not looking at a home in its physical way, but more so wherever you are, wherever you build, that's where the heart is. But also it's a statement that she made in the car, in that holy car with that
Hmm.
man, where she was trying to get him to feel the baby kicking. And she's like, you don't feel that bump, bump, bump? That's where the heart is. And I think
Hmm.
that kind of set the tone for the story. He couldn't feel it, or we find out later that he lied about that, but he claimed that he couldn't feel it. She was sure where the heart was, but he wasn't so sure. He was kind of just, out there doing his thing, right? And I
Hmm.
think that sets the tone for the both of them actually throughout the
Hmm.
whole story. Like she's aware of where love is, of where she needs to protect and all of that and provide care for. She knows how to do that, which we learn through the whole thing. We see her just both receiving and giving love, but he just kind of like
Mhm.
that whole moment told us who he would be for the rest of the movie. So I'm just like, oh,
Mhm.
this is good. Like from the moment they hit the car, I was like, oh, this is going to be good. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Because I knew that the hole in the car and her shoes falling through, I knew that, okay, we're gonna be on a ride for something. Like
Mhm.
something is going on. So yeah,
Mhm.
I think they named it that because it takes us on a journey of figuring out just where the heart is for all of these people. We found out where his heart
Ooh.
was in the car, and we found out where her heart was in the car as well.
That's good. That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's this theme of finding home and finding where
Mm-hmm.
your heart is. What are some other recurring themes that you've seen throughout the movie?
I would have to say most of those people within that town had something in common, and it is that they knew where home was. They knew how to be community. And I think that throughout it, it's really just giving and receiving throughout the whole movie. I
Mhm.
think one of the best things, and I think we probably talked about this earlier, was that in the beginning, we see that Nova Lee is receiving and receiving and receiving and receiving.
Mhm.
And it's probably the first time, I'm going to say it is, because when we learn about her past, it's like no one really gave her what she needed.
Mhm.
But the minute she hit the Walmart parking lot, people are giving and giving and giving and giving. Specifically, one of my favorites, Miss Sister Husband. Okay,
Yes, love her.
yeah, just giving and giving and giving. And then we see as the movie goes on that it's now Nova Lee who is, now that she's part of this company, part of this town, this community, she's starting to be a giver as well. And
Mhm.
so I think that that's pretty much where it goes, because we see Moses in the movie. He's giving his knowledge, his
Mhm.
care, his provision to her as well. We see her friend Lexi is giving to her. We see people giving all the time, but the ones from her past that we see come back, like her mom,
Mhm.
they're coming to take, they're coming to do something very different from, the newer people that she's around. So I think that that's probably the heart of the
Yes.
story, is just giving and receiving. Yeah.
I love that. And you mentioned her mom. I have in my notes that her mom deserves to have paws put on her. So I just want to make sure that I call that out because what a terrible woman Sally Fields played.
She was
Terrible woman.
awful.
And
She was
the
awful.
first time I seen it, I remember being like, oh, like redemption maybe. And then you immediately know, like 2 minutes into their interaction,
Yes.
oh no, this is going to go left.
Yeah.
And you immediately get sad for Nova Lee because you just know like this is what she's wanted for so long. So she immediately trusts her mom, like, yes, here, I've got this money. Go take it, go get us a house. Like me and my mom are gonna be together again. And
Mm-hmm.
and you just immediately know she's gonna be let down.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so harsh, but then we immediately pick back up with the theme of community and giving and receiving. And so
Mm-hmm.
what do you think was so the journey really is seeing Nova Lee build home where the heart is in this new
Yeah.
place. What do you think is the start of her recognizing this place as a sort of home, like the building of that community? Like, what do you think was the first thing that was like, okay, maybe?
You know, your okay was really high, so it sounded like, oh, this is great. But I think that the moment that that happened for her, it wasn't a, oh, this is great. I think it was just like a, my mom is not coming back, but this woman just invited me to her home.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm having this moment in my mind where I'm like, wait, what is actually happening? I'm
Mm-hmm.
I'm disappointed that I was abandoned yet again, but now someone is here to pick up for me. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I think that that is, I think that might be the moment. I would have said when Sister Husband gave her that plant. I think that the plant, for one, such a huge
Mm-hmm.
part of that we might, most people might have skipped over, but you would have thought it would have been that moment. And when she says "Welcome home," like that,
Mm-hmm.
and Nova Lee is kind of just like, "Girl, I'm not,
I'm
I'm not
stressed
here for
out,
that."
sleeping in a
Like,
Walmart.
exactly, right? And it's just like you. Most people watching that, having seen it for the second time, I'm like, "Oh, that's the moment." But
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was. I think it was. when she was left there. And
Mhm.
then she rolled up in that pickup truck, sister husband.
Mhm.
That was my girl
Yes.
down. And picked her up, and they drove off with the, welcome baby balloons in the back and all that. I thought that
Mhm.
that was such a beautiful scene, heartbreaking, but also like,
Mhm.
oh, something new is happening for you. So I'd
Yes.
say that moment.
I think that was the biggest moment. I'll say that, and again, I've seen this probably 20 times. So these are my two moments that in my rewatches that
Yeah.
stood out to me. One, she meets Lexi, her, going to be
Mhm.
best friend, Ashley Judd's character. And
Mhm.
they meet, and she's just super kind to her, just super, okay, yeah, girl, well, don't eat this. I'm gonna get you this. And, they got some letters. And then, like a scene later, she's like laying in the bed with Nova Lee in the hospital.
Oh, that's a good
And it's just
one.
like that level of familiarity. Like you immediately can pick up, oh, they're going to be friends forever. Like,
Yeah.
this is her nurse. If a nurse got in the bed with
Absolutely.
me, something got to happen.
You
But,
know what? When I text you when I was watching it for the first time, I
uh-huh.
text you and I said, "Oh, this nurse, like
Yes.
loving her." Something I said, but I just knew that. Oh, she's such a sweetheart. So I did
Yes.
not know in that moment though that it would blossom into what it did at all.
Yes. And so I think that, and then this was a small thing, but when they were like, oh, the guy from Walmart, Sam Walton, I think wants to talk to you. And she's like, oh no,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm going to pay them back their money, which what a heart you have to be writing down everything that you're stealing from a store. But we'll get to that in a
Mm-hmm.
second. But she's like, oh no, like please, are they going to take me to jail? Are they going to take my baby? And they're like, no, they want to offer you a job.
Mm-hmm.
Like they want to
Absolutely.
employ you. They're not mad about any of that. You done broke their window, or Forney did. You done broke their window. You done
Forty.
been in there sneaking and taking their stuff and sneaking in their stuff
Girl.
for probably a month or so, for a
Yeah.
real long time. And they're like, hey, it's okay. We see you going through something. Why don't you just you need a job? When you get on your feet,
Mm-hmm.
you come on and you can work with us. Like that is now you have a
Yes.
friend. To your point about the scene, you're talking about you have a home, you have
Mm-hmm.
livelihood, and you have your health. Like,
Mm-hmm.
whoa, all in like a day's work, like that is really something
All
for me.
wrapped up in one.
Hmm.
All wrapped up in one. Oh, it just give me chills. I just want to watch it again because it is so good. But those are really good points.
And it sounded like you wanted to say something about her heart about doing that when at the Walmart, making her notes about what she was going to pay back.
Yes, I don't know if it's touching on something that you might want to talk about after this, but the contrast between her and what was it? Willie Jack. Ain't
Mm-hmm.
that the okay? The contrast between her heart and his heart, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's sitting up here living in the Walmart, taking note of what she's used up so that she can pay these people back. Him on the other end, his heart is just so jacked up, right? He's throwing
Mm-hmm.
things out the window, he's throwing trash out the window, he's as soon as he ditches her, picks up a 14-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't know,
Right.
but still picked up a 14-year-old. You go to jail, you go through all of these things because your heart, you get what I'm saying? Like he was
Mm-hmm.
not worried about her at all in the turn of events. It just really shows that like what you're really made of changes the trajectory of your life like 1000%. So I just
Mm-hmm.
was like, it's so crazy that it's showing her being just quote unquote a good girl. Like she really, her heart
Mm-hmm.
was really in the right place. But that Willie Jack child, he acted like a Willie Jack.
Well, since we're on Willie Jack, what do you think? Because they follow his story in this movie as well. Not
Yeah.
obviously as closely, but we keep picking up on where he's at in his life, and he goes to jail or prison or whatever,
Yeah.
and then he gets out and he becomes a famous recording artist, and then that cycles out, and he ends up getting his legs cut off by a train, and all of
Mm-hmm.
this, all to end up back in Oklahoma where he left
Mm-hmm.
her. That was monumental to me. You go through all of this to end up right back where you messed up at. You end up right
Mm-hmm.
back there. But what do you think his story overall is teaching us or telling us?
So much. I'll say this. I Most people would see that and be like, now why does he deserve
Hmm.
to, get famous and make money and become rich? based off of like what we could see about him. He was awful, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's just a naturally occurring thought in people when you see somebody that's quote unquote bad, reaching what we think is success. But whole time he's getting rich in coin and money, but Nova Lee was getting rich spiritually
Mm-hmm.
and community, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, building up a whole life for herself, a future for herself and her child. But we see his demise quickly, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and really you can't really compromise. Like if you had to choose between being rich in coin or rich in spirit, rich, you know,
Mm-hmm.
how she was rich, you would probably choose Nova Lee's life. And I think that because again, this is about the heart. His
Mm-hmm.
heart was just, he just had a bad heart. And I think that the way that his story unfolded truly told that story of what could
Mm-hmm.
happen to you when you lack love and you lack trust.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think it, you could see his humanity,
Yes.
but also, bro, you left your child, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you left your child. And I want to mention about him, but it's towards the end. I'm pretty sure you have something to say about that, so I'll leave that for now. But
Oh
I
no,
just
go
think that
ahead.
his
Go ahead.
story,
Let it flow.
okay. So he towards the end when he gets them legs chopped.
It's not funny.
It's not funny.
Please get them
It's
legs
not.
chopped off like you went to the butcher.
Girl, oh my goodness, he done got them legs chopped off. He up in that bed,
Mm-hmm.
looking crazy, sweating. He just was looking
Just
crazy.
moist.
She walk in all fresh and beautiful and
Mm-hmm.
new, and just, you know, she looked rich, right? She
Yes.
looks rich, and I think in that moment he says something that we all could learn from, even
Mm-hmm.
Nova Lee. And he says something about, she asked him why did he lie about, well, I think he admitted that, hey, I lied to you that I couldn't feel
Mm-hmm.
the baby. I did the whole time. And she's like, well, why would you lie about that? And he's like, why do any of us lie? You
Yeah.
know, are we crazy? Are we mean? Are we like, what's our problem? And he's
Mm-hmm.
like, one lie could be so big that it could change your whole life. And
Mm.
when he's telling her that, she's in that weird space where she's not telling Forney that she loves him and
Yes.
being mean to Forney, child. Just she lied to
Mm-hmm.
Forney, like, no, Forney, I don't love you, but you do love that man. We love that man.
Yes. Yes.
We love him now. And I think that anything could be used to teach us something. And that right there was like, oh wow, Willie Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, but I'm glad that we were able to see that moment. So yeah, I think that's really what his story is about. Just having a hardened heart and what that could do to you.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree. And as we're talking about, well, let me say this about Willie Jack. I also think he was and you kind of alluded to this, but he was the perfect opposite of Nova Lee. And like we watch her find home and we watch
Mm-hmm.
him have all of these experiences, some good, some bad, which she did as well. But
Mm-hmm.
not having home was the only real difference.
For sure.
You know,
Yep.
like when her daughter got kidnapped, she had a community of people. She had home. When, the terrible
Mm.
thing that happened to Lexi happened, there was a community, there was people. She, even just as small as going to Moses White Cotton or whatever his name was and saying, hey, can Lexi keep her things in your garage? You have
Mm-hmm.
home. When bad things happened to him, he did not have home. He never had that solid framework for I can always come back here, which is what sent him back towards her. He like I was coming back here because I don't have a home. I don't have anything to start from. And how
Mm-hmm.
beautiful of a redemption that Nova Lee is like, and I'm gonna take you home back to where you very first started. And from there you
Right.
need to figure it out. Like
Yeah.
that's on you.
The only opportunity at home that you had is the only person that came to visit you while you were in there.
Exactly.
You know, so
Exactly.
yeah, he missed out bad. And you know, in the very beginning, I feel like the abandonment was just like, oh, why is this tragedy happening?
Mm-hmm.
Because on the surface it is a tragedy. Like, this girl is pregnant, she is out here in the
Mm-hmm.
middle of nowhere with folks that she don't know, but realistically it saved her. right?
Yes.
Because imagine a future with that man,
Mm-hmm.
the baby's future. It would have not looked the way that it did. But on the opposite, if he would have stayed, he probably would have had a better future.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think that too is a really crazy contrast. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you could have had a better life too, sir, if you would have just stayed where the heart was.
Mm-hmm. You must
Like,
be
you
reading my
you played,
notes. You must be
girl.
reading my notes. Because listen,
Not
I
only got
was
the same
going to
notes.
listen. I was going to say two things that you pointed out. One, what does this story say about fate?
Mm.
Because fate is not always easy. The destined route is
Mm.
just not always easy. And so I remember, you and I have both listened to a lot of Chanel Cooper Sykes, and I recently listened to something I
Yes.
think I mentioned to you where she was saying like, all bad things is just like the good of it hasn't been discovered yet. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, man, and when I'm thinking about that, and I'm trying to disprove it in my mind, like, well, no, because this bad thing happened and I ain't found the good in that yet. And it's like
Yeah.
most things I was able to say, but in the grand scheme of things, this might not
Mm-hmm.
have come had that not come. This might not have
Yes.
happened had that not happened. Even the things that are so difficult, like being left in a parking lot at a Walmart in the middle
Mm-hmm.
of nowhere, 8 months pregnant. But man,
Because
did it build a life
yeah,
for her, you know?
it totally did. And I feel like there is not enough conversation about Sister Husband. It's
Mm-hmm.
just there, you could not talk enough about her because I was watching it again, for the second time, and I was thinking, why is she pretending that she knows her? It's like,
Mm-hmm.
what? How are we coming to this moment? What is going on? And then the second time I watched it, and I realized she is a very repentant Christian. Like, her character
Mm-hmm.
was, she's super repentant.
Yes.
Lord forgive me and my
Mr.
man
Spock.
for all the fornication that we did
Get on
last
this
night,
dining
but
room table.
on this table, Lord.
Uh-huh.
But the thing is, the movie made it very clear that she was a Christian woman, but
Mm-hmm.
she was a very normal and repentant one, right?
Yes.
And so I think that in a way that humbled her walk. And so instead of being one of those older women that's like, look at this pregnant teenager, oh Lord,
Mm-hmm.
she was like so familiar, and just was like, she probably need love, and probably not what the rest of the world is going to give her. Let me show her some love, because I know what it's
Mm-hmm.
like to mess up. And and
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's what made her seem so familiar. I think I know you. Remember
Mm-hmm.
when? No, you know me because you know what it's like to be in a
Yes.
position where you're not perfect. And I was like, oh wow, that clicked for me, like,
Mm-hmm.
huge. So I really, really love that moment. Like, I'm just, because I
Mm-hmm.
was
She knew
struggling
her
with that. Like, what you
spirit.
mean? Yeah, she knew her spirit, man. And
Yes.
I love that I thought it was genius that they made that such a comedic part of the movie. Because we
Mm-hmm.
giggled every time that would happen. Like, you did
Mm-hmm.
what? Why are you telling this to us? But
Right.
it set the tone for why it made sense.
It did.
You
And
don't know her. You just were familiar.
absolutely. And down to when we lost Sister Husband, which broke my
Stop.
heart. Down to when we lost Sister Husband, which was devastating. We
Mhm.
lost her doing a good thing. She was like, I'm about to somebody so and so's
I'm
on
about to go
sick and
take this.
shut in list. I'm
Yeah.
about to
What
go
was
take
it?
them some
Potato
food,
soup?
something like that. I'm about to go take them some.
Oh.
I'll be back in a jiff, And so you even left out of this
Mm.
world
Now
doing
you
a
in my notes.
kindness.
You in my notes now.
Doing a kindness. And even beyond the grave, when the
Yes.
man came to tell her, hey,
Woo.
she left you this land and this money or whatever the case, he's like, she was my sponsor in AA. She picked me up plenty of times up off the ground. Like she just, her
Mm-hmm.
character, where her heart was, spoke for
Mm-hmm.
her. Like, what a good, solid woman. Like, more of that in this world, please.
Rest in peace, Sister Husband.
No,
Lord
seriously.
have mercy.
I,
I
I don't
loved
know
her.
what Mr. Sprock did without her. Oh my goodness.
Child. And I loved his heart too, because he
Yes.
loved him some Americans, honey.
Mm-hmm.
Loved him down. The little scene when Lexi gets married and they're dancing, and I'm like, look
Yes.
at Mr. Sprock.
Yes. I
He
love
was just
that.
a sweetheart. And then when Nova Lee is like, don't you think this money should have been for you?
Mm-hmm.
He like, what did he say something about, baby, I got everything I needed from that woman. Like,
Exactly.
I can't do nothing with that. That's for you. She did what she needed to do. I know that woman's heart. I'm fine. It was just
Hmm.
a beautiful moment, man. I just can't with this movie. Like, seriously. There's
Because
not a
one
moment,
thing, yeah, go ahead.
you might watch something and you like, okay, this part a little slow, this a little boring.
Mm-hmm.
Not one moment,
No,
not one. I'm like,
everything
okay,
was
what's happening
important.
next? Absolutely,
Everything
girl.
was important.
They
And,
ate that.
and so one more thing, you brought this up, and so it's so funny because I'm like, when I was writing this down, I said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna get her with this one. This one gonna be good." And then you done brought it up. So in a alternate universe, if
Mm-mm.
they never stopped at Walmart, how would you have seen Nova Lee and Willie Jack's life play out? Let's just say the hole was never in the car.
Oh, the
Okay?
hole.
The
Okay,
hole never existed.
the leaks and the cracks.
Didn't exist.
Um, sometimes I feel like obviously the bad things need to seep out some kind of way. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
strong believer that I know I said this earlier. It would have been probably a terrible ride for the first couple years of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that where we're supposed to go is always going to be the destination. I just think that certain detours might have made things harder for us, right? So
Mm-hmm.
so you know how you driving with your GPS and then it's like, oh, it's construction up here, we're gonna take you
Uh-huh.
through here. I think that the destination is the same, but the route might have been a little bit rocky. It might have been awful. It might have been some more trauma added on to Americus during all of that. You know what I mean? She probably would have saw some things, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that it would have definitely left its mark on them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think because again, Nova Lee had a different type of heart.
Mm-hmm.
And so it still would have led her to where it was going to lead her somehow, some way. Like
Mm-hmm.
that, it just would have happened. That man would have still ended up in jail some kind of
Mm-hmm.
way. It still would have happened because he was who he was.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and if there was a different outcome, somehow, some way, it still would have led to the same stuff. I think
Mm.
personally.
Okay. See, I was thinking, and I heard this years ago and it stuck with me, is like it is much easier to pull a person off of a chair than it is to pull a person up onto one.
mm,
And I think, it goes back to that thought of fate of like what is for you and what's meant for you. Like it has to happen, even if it's harm, even if it's hurtful, because
mm-hmm.
her getting left at that Walmart saved her. It saved America's. It
Yes.
saved her
Yep.
offspring. You know what I mean? Because I can
Mm-hmm.
only imagine that the terrible person that he was, even if it didn't seep into Nova Lee's heart, it would
Mm-hmm.
have changed their trajectory of life in such a
Mm-hmm.
difficult way that who's to say that y'all not now, on the train tracks with him proverbially,
For
like
sure.
because it's just
Yep.
much easier for I mean, and you know how it is, like it's much easier for a negative person to come in a room full of positive people and like the mood shifts
Yeah.
than it is for a positive person to come in a room full of negativity. Like the negativity
Yeah.
is just, I don't want to say it's
It's
stronger, but
loud. It's
it's
loud.
louder. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So just thinking about that alternate universe, it gives me the heebie-jeebies. Like, oh, I'm so glad that he left her at that
Yeah,
Walmart. Woo!
for sure. For sure. And I think that she had such a good way of showing, well, the movie had such a good way of showing her being a good steward as well, because even
Hmm.
getting the plant and noticing that it's withering, right,
Yeah.
she took notice of something was wrong, and
Hmm.
maybe this is more in support of what I was saying, that it would have wound up some kind of way,
Hmm.
just like the original story. But she noticed that something was wrong, and her stewardship led her, let me go and find a book about this. How can I
Hmm.
nurture this? I need to know. And it led her to her dang husband.
Girl, we gonna get to Forney in a
Like,
minute. We gonna get to Forney in a minute.
my Barney child. But yeah, I definitely see that though, because you're not wrong at all. Like,
Hmm.
that could have very well been the situation as well.
Absolutely. Okay, we got two more
Yeah.
characters to talk about. We saving my boy for last,
All right.
but I want to talk about Lexi. I want to talk
Mm-hmm.
about Lexi because she was an important character the whole movie. You know, she's Nova
Oh,
Lee's
for
best
sure.
friend. She's, you know, she brings a bit of comic relief with her and the kids. And, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I jumped back from the moon 10 times and ended up pregnant with twins. And all her kids is named
Okay.
after food. And she's just, you know, funny and lighthearted and
Yeah.
hopeful and optimistic about love. Like, that
Yes,
is so
she
rare
is.
to see, you know, especially these days.
Yeah.
And then something devastating happens to Lexi. She,
Yeah.
you know, finds out that the man that she's entertaining is a PDF file, as the people were saying,
Mm-hmm.
and has been, you know, touching her kids. And then she ends up in a situation where she's been, you know, battered really bad, and she loses her apartment, and, you know, just a spiral of things happens to her. And
Mm-hmm.
she gets a happy ending, which every time I see it, I get teary eyed. But
Mm-hmm.
in the midst of her dealing with what she dealt with, first of all, community home, you know, Nova Lee is like, well, I just built this house. I guess we all live here now till times
Come
get
on.
better, you know. But she, when she's finally telling Nova Lee what happened, that is one of the most emotional movie scenes I've seen.
It was. It was.
And she says, how did he find me? And that just broke my heart for, as a feminist, women all over the world that have felt like that in one way or another, because most of us have, where it's like, man, I was minding my business and you sought
Mm-hmm.
me out to do me harm.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
not just her but her kids too. You know, how did he find me? So I
Yeah.
just want to get your thoughts on Lexi's story.
Lexi always had a good heart to me as well.
Mhm.
From the moment that we saw her, which we already talked about, I think that she played such an important role in teaching Nova Lee
Mhm.
how to navigate love as well. Um, that community was so important. We see Nova Lee giving again. Like she's just
Mhm.
like from this person where she's everything is given to her and now she's giving. I think that Lexi's story is really just again another redemptive story within a redemptive story
Mhm.
because it's on top of her going through what she went through, it was a moment of bonding for them, but also her truly seeing in Nova Lee, wow, this girl is truly my friend. You know,
Mhm.
like I can sit here and talk with her about these things that are happening to me. And then when I find my husband, I can sit here and
Mhm.
tell her, hey, he's not actually the type that I've been going for,
Mhm.
which gives us a little bit of
Yeah.
insight to,
Right.
Mr. Forney. But I think that her role is so important because friendship, for one, is always super important. But I think that at what length are you willing to go as a friend?
Mhm.
They both went far lengths for each other. You know,
Mhm.
it's not just oh Novelie's so sweet. No, she was there for her as well. So I think
Yes.
what she really gave us is just what true friendship looks like, the good, the bad, the ugly. You know,
Mhm.
it was just I think that that could have been a movie in and of itself, them two in their
Yes.
situations, you know.
Yes.
So I think I answered the question. I don't
Mhm.
remember.
Mhm.
Okay, good. Like I think that Lexi I don't know. It that scene was super emotional to me, and it was kind of jarring because we hadn't really
Mhm.
gone through seeing. I wasn't expecting her to say what the man was doing, so I was like, "Oh
Yes.
wait," you know. So I think that it was needed still because that's life, right?
Yes.
But I think all the while, if you look at like Nobley's face, her wheels are turning. Like there's things
Mhm.
about her that she's realizing about love and friendship and protection and provision and all
Mhm.
these things. Like she's learning, like, wait, I never got this when I was a kid.
Mhm.
I don't, what is this? But again, because her heart was so good, she was able to say the right things, to show up the way that she needed to listen, to be heard. And
Yes.
let's give it up for Lexi. That's my last little thing.
Mhm.
Let's give it up for Lexi for saying, "Hey, girl, that man loves you.
Yeah.
Stop playing. Stop
Yes.
playing." Like she was an honest friend, and we need those too.
Yes. And also, I was just so enamored with Lexi's willingness to try again. Because if something like that
Mm,
happened to the average person, I'm done.
yeah,
A man better not
yeah,
look at me. unless he
You know
wanted to
what?
do
She
something
made a
to him.
comment too. She made a comment like, yeah, the man, what was the man's name that she married? Rick or Rich or something like, I
Something
don't
like
remember.
that.
But she said, I know he's good because he says my children are beautiful. And I was thinking that could go two ways.
Exactly. Exactly.
So you had to have seen his heart in other
Mm-hmm.
ways for you to feel like that was okay. And we see that it is. Like she tells the story about how he
Mm-hmm.
came about having his daughter. And I'm like,
Yes.
okay, yeah, these are the things that matter, the
Yes.
heart.
Absolutely. And speaking of the
Mhm.
hearts, let's talk about the biggest heart of them all.
The biggest, the largest.
Stefano shit regardless.
Okay, come
Forney, big Forney,
on.
never the little one.
Oh, never ever.
He, we get a glimpse of Forney at the very beginning. She goes in about the tree and he's the librarian and he's kind of like rude and just like, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
He
Yeah,
was
read
selling
here,
her
read the
short or
book.
something.
Yeah, here, read the book, whatever. Like, you can tell like he's
Mm.
not a friendly guy. But,
Yeah.
he's like, oh, bonsai tree, here, whatever. And
Bonsai tree.
and, and so you just kind of like, okay, but you immediately know he's going to be a part of the story. Like we get that
Mm-hmm.
feeling. I love the cozy library house, by the way. The bookish person in
Ain't
me loves
that
that.
nice? I
So
just want to be
nice.
there.
And then his big turning point, his big moment is that she finds out when she's in the hospital that he broke through the Walmart glass to deliver her baby when he
Yeah.
heard her crying. Which
Yeah.
also, how did you hear that if you were not checking up on her to know that she was
Mm-hmm.
sleeping in that Walmart? So
Mm-hmm.
already you giving protector, you giving provider, you giving
Mm-hmm.
just caring individual because he don't know her from a can of paint.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
little weird girl that came in here with a tree in a box talking about she
Mm-hmm.
needed to figure out how to save it. And yet you
Trying to figure out
saved
where to
her.
plant them roots at.
Oh, come
Listen.
on. It's getting oily.
Listen. At the moment I was so unsure about that man. When
Mm-hmm.
she walked in there and was asking questions, we get these glimpses of the camera is not even catching him. He's moving so quickly
Mm-hmm.
through the
Yes.
library. And so I thought that he was insane. I'm not even gonna lie. I said, who is this crazy man walking around? But the moment he looked at her, when they
Mm-hmm.
locked eyes, I knew from that moment, oh, he
Mm-hmm.
in love. It
Yes.
happened instantly for him. Mind you, they didn't get serious till America's Little Tail was 5.
Right.
That man patiently waited
Mm-hmm.
for her, and you get these little moments where he's like, "Oh, you going on a date, or this or
Right.
that," and she's like, "I'm done with men that look like that wear the tight jeans, and I'm just
Yeah.
done with men altogether." And his face just
All right.
dies, right? And I
Meanwhile,
said,
he going
"Oh,
with you to pick
Forney,
Christmas trees and
yeah, he a
staying while you
babysitting
go
the
do your
baby."
photography thing. And just,
Yeah, like he was so patient, but his character changes as she softens his heart. I think that
mm,
his heart was a little, I don't think he had a bad heart. I just think it
yes.
was a little bit maybe cold, or he
Hmm.
was going through a lot, with his sister
I
and
think he
managing
was
the
resentful
library.
of the life that he
That's the
had been
word.
forced
Oh, that's
into.
it. That's
Yeah.
exactly it. You're right. So I think that, oh my goodness, my heart is getting warm. I
Yes.
think that same with her coming up on Walmart and being abandoned there, you think this is not how this was supposed to go.
Hmm.
But it had to happen this way for you to get the
Yes.
life that you were heading towards. And I love that he was a different man to me personally. He was a
Hmm.
different man to me as the story went on.
Absolutely.
Cause I can't imagine her marrying that crazy man.
Yeah. It's the biggest
you know?
character development in the movie. Even bigger
Oh,
than Willie Jack, even bigger than her. He was the
oh
biggest
yes.
character
Oh
development.
yes. 1000%.
Hmm.
1000%. I there's no words really to express him. I just love him down. I
Yes.
love how unconventionally not really attractive he
Hmm.
is, but he kind of is. And
Hmm.
it's like he's just a perfect little man.
Yes.
He was doing his thing. There's nothing bad that I have to say about him, even down to caring for his sister. Like that even shows about
Hmm.
his heart.
Hmm. Hmm. I think he
And
he exemplified biblical love. Like he
Mm-hmm.
was patient, he was kind, he didn't get angry, he wasn't jealous. Like he really he ate that. He was that.
Oh my goodness. I This movie really gives my heart all kind of
Hmm.
flares because absolutely yes. Like you can see everything about this woman and it's totally opposite of you and you feel like maybe this is the perfect balance, but she feels
Hmm.
the opposite. I'm not even good enough for this man. He
Yes.
needs some other stuff than me. And the whole time he's looking at you with googly eyes and you
Hmm.
don't see it. And it was just beautiful.
Yes.
It did it for me.
And how full circle that they got married in the Walmart. It was so cute.
Girl, when I tell Brandy, you about to be so mad at me. The first time I watched
You
it,
didn't notice it.
I didn't. I was too eager to talk about it. I just went off the whole thing. I'm like, oh, it's over. I didn't realize till the second time she's like,
Yes.
well, Walmart shoppers or whatever she was
Uh-huh.
saying. I was like, oh, wait a minute. It's Walmart.
Got married
So
where it all
yeah.
started.
Yes, absolutely. Because the place where you might have been abandoned might be the place of your
Oh.
triumphant story or redemption, or that's your
Hmm.
happy ending right there. You thought it was
Yes.
the ending. That was the happy ending, baby.
Yes. The two most important people in your life you were connected with there.
Yes. Ooh.
Americus and now Forney. Like this is where
Oh
your
my
story
gosh.
lives for real.
Oh my gosh.
Ugh. Okay, this was such a
That's
good talk. I
crazy.
have one final question for you. I want you
Hmm.
to tell me why you were moved by this media.
I was moved by this because I can relate very well, not to being pregnant, not to being left at a Walmart, but I think that I can truly relate to any story that tells how someone made it through something. I love progressive stories that show you, hey, this is where it started. This is the rough and tumultuous things that we're going to go through in the middle, and then this is how it's going to come out. I love happy endings. And I think that very much like the plant that she was given by sister husband. Like I said, she was trying to figure out the best place to plant them roots, and it moved me because sister husband she said something. She
Mm-hmm.
said something like what kind of people wouldn't let you plant your tree there or something, and she says what are they going to do when you have the baby.
Mm-hmm.
And so she wasn't able to rest with the tree with her mom, with her family, with that baby daddy. But
Mm-hmm.
she was able to cultivate and nurture that tree where the heart was, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so she's carrying this thing around. And in my mind, it doesn't really sit well, but it moved me because wait a minute, this was just she was looking for someone somewhere to plant her roots. That's what this is about. And it
Mm-hmm.
just moved me because and we don't even get to see the tree grow big and tall because
Right.
patience, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that the whole thing is where can I be planted where I can grow and where there is good soil. And I think that
Mm-hmm.
that's the biggest thing for me. All of the stories within move me, but I think overall it's like about planting and having strong roots somewhere. That's
Mm-hmm.
exactly what it was for me. And I'm finna watch it again as soon as we get off this phone.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for an amazing conversation. I'm so glad you love the movie as much as I do because it
Yes.
is an instant classic. If you're listening to this and you've never watched it, go turn it on right now. Find it wherever you
Hmm.
can find it and turn it on right now. It's worth buying if it's $6 to $10. It's worth
Absolutely.
buying because you want to have that in your repertoire.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.